Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well and I hope you have all had a good Christmas. So this is going to be a very short video and I thought I would do this while I am editing my battle report for Here's the Ruckus. And I thought what I'll do is actually just show you what I have done for the forces in a little bit more of a showcase. So Here's the Ruckus, or just Ruckus, was given away free with Wargames Illustrated issue 437, and it's the brainchild of Mike Peters here. Now Mike is a lovely chap, and we'll come on to sort of everything he's done for the game a little bit later, but I encourage you to go and look at the Facebook group where there's loads and loads of resources for this game. Now essentially this is a medieval skirmish game that is sort of heavily sort of into the narrative, inspired and influenced originally by the Never Mind the Billhooks set. This is sort of expanded and sort of become its own thing. This is suited to sort of pick up and play games, but you can also play it in a bit of a campaign. As you can see, there's it's deck activated, so you have a deck for your heroes. There are things that can happen in here like cunning plans and events, and you can get all of this on the Wargames Illustrated website if you missed that issue, but you still can track down that issue of Wargames Illustrated if you want to. Now Mike sent over all of these play aids for me because we've been chatting for quite a long time now. I chat to him quite a lot about the models that I'm making for the Ragged Staff miniatures, and he was also just sharing lots of ideas and things that he had for Ruckus as it basically approached its publication. So as you can see here, the sort of free sample of the rules that you get here is enough to play a game. It explains how you set out your Retuins, your warbands, the basic stats for all of the basic troops, and it also includes things here like traits, because what you're going to do when you create your captain and your other characters, you are going to draw some cards and you're going to get traits applied to them. So if we have a look here, Fluted Plate for number 4, reroll 1 save per round of melee. So it just lets you sort of generate and sort of create some individual characteristics for them, and there's some really fun things in there. Now this little supplement does include all of the rules for setting up the terrain. It explains all about the sequence of play, basically everything you need to know how to play, and you may recognize a few Ragged Staff minis in the photos as well, which is really nice to see. We're going to be having a battle report of this, which is going to show how the game is played as we learn it, so I'm not going to go through all that now. But suffice to say, if you pick up this little supplement, it will give you everything you need. And if you join the Facebook group, there's a growing and really friendly community with lots of homebrew ideas. I mean, it is initially kind of set in the Wars of the Roses period, but there's people on there who are setting things in sort of the sort of Saxon Norman period. There's also some ideas of people who are doing things with samurai and fantasy stuff. So it's a really neat set of rules, and I'm looking forward to getting stuck in. So what I thought I would do is just show you the forces that I have created, and this is also something I really like about this game because it's a way to use up miniatures. I know is almost like a dirty term, but I have a lot of Wars of the Roses miniatures and I have a lot of singles that are left hanging over. So what I thought I would do is I've created 2 forces, and the first of which is based on the idea of some deserters from the Calais garrison. So for those of you who know, the Calais garrison famously deserted the Yorkists at Ludford Bridge. Well, my idea here is that a company of these men has deserted the people who deserted the Yorkists, and they're off doing their own thing, and they've basically sort of formed up under sort of a trusty captain who's never seen them wrong in France. And this is the captain here. It's one of my Ragged Staff minis, and I've named him Nathaniel Cobb. He's a veteran of the Calais garrison, and he's been fighting for years over in France, and he knows every dirty trick in the book, and he's always looked after his lads, and now they're running amok in England. So that's what I quite like about this game, is it really lets you pick up and create a narrative. With the miniature, I just tried to create something a little bit different. I decided to do a blue brigandine, and of course, as I had the livery bend, I've done the Cross of St George, the sort of typical symbol of the English soldiers fighting over in France. I thought it'd make him stand out. Now I've used another one of my miniatures. This is the melee archer, but I decided to rather than using the sort of weapons he came with, I used one of the warhammers and a longbow, just to basically make him fit in. Now this one I'm probably going to give him I'm not too sure, I might make him the brother of the chap that you just saw, so there's a bit of a family connection, and he is one of the squires. Now the captain and the squires will each lead a spear of men, and a spear can contain as many miniatures equal to the character's prowess. All of this will come out in the battle report. Now, this is my final squire. This is my other Ragged Staff miniature. This is the Loyal Standard Bearer, and he is indeed carrying a standard. Now, I got that flag from Flags of War. It is a Renaissance flag, but I thought it looked like a pennant that could be flying from a ship or a castle, and I like the idea that these men have sort of nicked it. Maybe it's always given them luck, and they've taken it with them on the battlefield. Now, the rest of these miniatures are Perrys. There's a mixture of metal billmen in here, and the archers are all plastic from the Excellent Wars of the Roses infantry set. But there really is a lot of room here for conversion. There are no points values in the game. You just sort of, you build your warband with 12 characters, and one of those is a captain, 2 squires, and then 9 retainers. Now, to face off against the English, I thought it would be fun to basically do a force of French, as it's something that I don't really see people do very often. So I've used the Mercenary set, some miniatures that were given to me by Charlie Betts, and some Steel Fist miniatures to really sort of round off what I hope looks like a different looking force. As you saw, the English force is filled with longbowmen, which you'd probably expect, so I thought it would be fun to have the French force filled with crossbows. So there's a little bit of a difference there, and there'll be a little bit of a difference in gameplay. Now, the cool thing is, if you've got the crossbow, you've got the access to the purvey shield, so I've given them all purveses, and I thought it would be fun, I don't know why I thought this, to have a go at creating my own sort of coat of arms for this little mercenary warband. This was done by essentially looking at examples. Now, this is very similar to the Paris coat of arms, if you like, but this is entirely individual. And what I did was I bought a whole set of medieval water slide transfers from Green Stuff World. I got them on eBay, and I spent a long time fiddling around, as you can see here, with tiny fleur-de-lis, using microsol and microset to make sure that I got the transfers flush and there were no bubbles, and playing with a very sharp knife. And basically, I'm really pleased with how this came out. I don't know if I fancy doing sort of a whole 28mm army with these guys, but I thought this looked like a sort of a coat of arms, a livery that could really exist. So I did all 6 crossbowmen with this sort of tower and 3 fleur-de-lis, and decided that would be the coat of arms of my leader, my captain of this French mercenary company. And I will introduce you to him in a second. But as you can see, I'm pleased with how these came out. Once the transfers are in the right place, bit of weathering, a bit of dirt, and I think they look the part, and I'm really pleased with them. Now, this is the leader of my French company. This is Raymond le Vicieux, Raymond the Vicious, this is a Steel Fist miniature. I just replaced the sword that he was carrying with a poleaxe from my Ragged Staff ones. It just sort of slid in, and I thought it looked good. And he is a veteran of fighting against the English in France, and now he's over in England fighting on behalf of Margaret of Anjou at the behest of the French king. This is one of the awesome models that Charlie Betts sent me to have a look at, and I've used them before, and I had a few left over, and I thought they looked different enough from the bill and bow that I'd used for the English, and would stand out a little bit. This is a Perry Metal. Now, these guys are, I think they're down as Italian mercenaries. They're metals on the Perry site, and I just thought that they would do captains, people who have served with Raymond for a long time. I'm really pleased with how all of these have come out. The basing, they're just done on 25mm washers, and just with one sort of normal basing techniques of just using lots of scrub and tufts to create sort of a realistic looking undergrowth. And that's all you need, is 24 miniatures. Now, obviously, I've painted both sides, but if you were going up against a mate, all you need is a single sprue of the Wars of the Roses infantry, and I think you've actually got enough on that sprue to create pretty much everything. If you get the command sprue as well, you've got your captains as well, and some room for a couple of people left over. Now, in the game, there is the ability to get mercenaries on your side. Maybe a mercenary captain of renown shows up to assist you, so you might want a few spare models, and it's quite fun to have sort of villagers and stuff running around as well, as you will see. There There is one scenario provided in the free sample rulebook, but there are loads and loads online, and everyone is really, really responsive on the group. Now, hopefully, if Ruckus does well, I'm hoping, and I think everyone else is as well, including Mike, that there will be sort of a volume and an actual sort of publication of all the rules, which includes everything like the campaign, like all the scenarios as well. But do go over and check out the, I was about to say Never Mind the Billhooks. It technically is Never Mind the Billhooks, Here's the Ruckus, but go and check out the Ruckus Facebook page. There is a link down below, and there's also a link to the War Games Illustrated section where you can actually purchase the rules and everything else as well. Now, keep your eye open, because the next battle report on the channel will be for Here's the Ruckus. I'll be playing against Robin. I'm in command of the English deserters of the Calais garrison, and he's in command of the dastardly French mercenaries here. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this quick showcase of the miniatures that we'll be using for Here's the Ruckus, and I really, really hope you all had a good Christmas, and I will see you all again soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.